So when we say think like the bank, we are actually saying that time has come when you have to stop thinking like the bank customer and start thinking the way the bank thinks. What is the bank's business model? How does the bank operate? What is their philosophy around money? Because what you're actually saying when you're saying be your own bank, you need to start applying the philosophy of the bank to your own finances. So as I've enumerated here on the board, the bank business model, this is how the banks think. And I'll be able to demonstrate that what they actually sell to you, or what you are actually told by any financial advisor, is the exact opposite of what the banks actually think that their business model is. So number one, the banks want to get as much money as possible. They want to have money coming in to their reservoir as much as possible. So they look for customers and create savings schemes for them. They have daily savings schemes, they have weekly savings schemes, they have monthly savings schemes. So all these savings schemes is to ensure that they get as much money as possible into their reservoir. And remember, they have control over their reservoir. So what do they tell you? The banks tells you as the bank customer, to put away as much money as possible. They tell you save as much money as possible, as frequently as possible in your bank account. So you should be saying, in my own reservoir, I need to be getting as much money as possible in my reservoir, the one that I have control of. Number two, the bank says, get money as often as possible. So they want to get money with the highest frequency, every day, all the time. They want their loans to be repaid faster. Why? Because they need money as often as possible. They are telling you the exact opposite of what their philosophy is. Their money philosophy is get money as often as possible. So what I'm telling you is, you need to start thinking like the bank and start saying, in my own reservoir, the reservoir that I have control, I need to get as much money as often as possible into that particular account. Number three, what is the bank money philosophy? Number three, keep it as long as possible. They want to keep money in their reservoir for as long as possible. So what will they tell you? To keep money in the bank account for as long as possible. That's what they tell you. They will even entice you with a higher interest rate. They'll actually tell you, if you keep money with us for 12 months, then we're going to give you 10%. If you keep money for 6 months, we're going to give you 8%. Why? Because this is their money philosophy. They want to keep money for as long as possible. So you need to start thinking like the bank and keep money for as long as possible in a reservoir that you have control. So the key word here is control. Who controls where the money is? And as we've discussed in our previous videos, control means that you can take advantage of opportunities that present themselves with that particular money that you're keeping in your reservoir. So it's about keeping the money for as long as possible in a reservoir that you control. Money philosophy number 4 for the bank: give you, who is the customer, who is the bank customer, as little as possible, because they want to keep as much as possible. What do they tell you? Is take away from your savings account, which they are in control of, as little as possible. So that's what they tell you. Take out as little as possible. Don't withdraw your money very oftenly, right? So when you have your own reservoir, you need to give away or give yourself as little as possible. Keep it in a reservoir that you control so that you can multiply it. So the goal here is who is controlling where the money is sitting. Number 5, money philosophy for the bank: take as little risk as possible. The banks want to take as little risk as possible. When they are giving their loans, they have to ensure their loans are secured. There is collateral. They do credit analysis to ensure that they are not taking any risk on the money that they are taking into their reservoir. But what do they tell you? Take as much risk as possible to make better returns. So they are actually asking you to risk your money. No, but what you're saying is, being your own bank is about taking as little risk as possible on your reservoir. The reservoir that you control. It should be your money philosophy from today, when you start thinking like the bank, to take as little risk as possible. And what you should be looking for right now is a platform that allows you to have control over your reservoir, and one where you will start taking little risks as possible on your money as you seek to be able to grow it. So think like a bank. So this is how the bank thinks like. What they tell you and what you are told and what you've been taught is the exact opposite of how the bank thinks, of what the philosophy of the bank is. And we are here to tell you it is time to take a mindset shift and start thinking like the bank. So this is what it means being your own bank. So next we'll be looking at the 7 rules of a bank.